The stock market is down significantly this year. But the truth is, times like these kind of remind some of us as investors, this is exactly why we have those good quality dividend stocks in our portfolio to help keep that passive cash flow coming in during the bad times. So in today's video, I'm going to cover a hidden high yield dividend aristocrat stock that some analysts are saying now may be the bargain time to buy in compared to about what they just went through and the bright future ahead of them. Now, when people think of dividend stocks or dividend royalty stocks, they think of Coke and Pepsi, Lowe's, and 3M. However, some of the less popular stocks or some of the less sexy stocks include companies like UGI Corporation that we're discussing in today's video. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to cover the highlights or the main points about UGI Corporation, and then as I transition towards the end of the video, I'm going to try to go in a little more detail as far as the outlook and why this is such a good value buy currently. Now, feel free to skip ahead using the chapter bars below. You skip around to the section of the video that you're more interested in, so you don't have to listen to me ramble on for the entire length of the video. So without waiting any longer, let's go ahead and get started in today's video. UGI is an international energy company that services natural gas, electricity, and renewable energy solutions in the United States and even parts of Europe, to include right now over 18 different countries in total. Now with that, they serve over 3 million customers and have over 11,000 employees in total. When you look at the stock right now, it is trading right around $35 a share with a modest 95% growth over the past 10 years. Now, since we're looking at dividend stocks, let's dive down into especially UGI and what makes this stock so great when we're talking about dividend. UGI has paid out a common dividend for 137 continuous years and has increased their dividend payout the past 34 years in a row. Now, currently their dividend yield is just shy of 4% with an annual payout of roughly $1.35 per share. Now, before we go any further, there is not a lot of dividend stocks out there that has continued to pay out a dividend for almost the existence of the company for 137 years. That alone, by far, is very impressive. Now, one thing I look at when I buy a long-term stock, I try to see who the other shareholders are and what the overall turnover rating is. And when you look at UGI, it should come as no surprise that one of their top shareholders is Vanguard, a companies like BlackRock, and a lot of other equity firms. And the thing to keep in mind when you look at this chart, almost every one of them is low turnover. Now, of course, let's be honest with ourselves. Just because Vanguard owns a particular stock and doesn't have a very high turnover doesn't mean it's the perfect stock or it's the perfect stock for your particular portfolio. Keep in mind, one of the reasons why the stock has a low turnover is because it's a long, steady. This is the whole tortoise versus the hare race. This is the tortoise in the investor world. It's slow, it's steady, it has consistent growth, it has consistent payout, and that's one reason why a lot of these mutual funds and ETFs has this particular stock in that is because it consistently pays out and it's a benefit to that particular fund or the investor. Now, with that being said, if you're looking for the next get-rich-quick stock like Tesla or the other ones out there, then this probably isn't the stock or video for you. This is a particular stock that you buy and you almost forget about in 10 years because in 10 years, it's going to go up probably another 90%. But in the meantime, it's going to keep paying out those nifty little dividends each quarter that you own this particular stock. Now, before I get into the actual growth outlook or what the analysts are saying that this company can do or may do in the next 5 to 20 years, let's look at some quick highlights or some bullet points on why everyone thinks this stock is so dependable for investors. The first one, it hasn't missed a dividend payout since 1885, which to me is just earth-shattering when you look at a lot of dividend stocks. The second, it's been through 28 different recessions. And the third one, it's been through over 6 depressions. Obviously, we think of the Great Depressions, but they have been other times in history where the economic downturns, people have deemed it as a depression. But it's been through 6 depressions and it's still been able to maintain that consistent dividend payout. And then a couple other ones to look at, it's been through 4 major oil spikes. It's went through inflation that hit high as the 20%, interest rates as high as 20%, dozens of bear markets, corrections, over 100 pullbacks, and it's been raising its dividend every year since 1988. So now let's just take a slight transition and look at the actual projections we see in growth, because we know where the company has been and what it's doing right now, but where will it be in the next 5 to 20 years? Now, according to our friends over at FactSet Research Terminal, UGI is projected to have an annualized growth over 3% through 2025. Of course, this is a midterm outlook or midterm growth outlook. Now, management is expected to provide a long-term earnings per share ranging anywhere from 6 to 10% and increase the dividend growth over 4% in the long term as well. Now, kind of in lines of what the internal management has pushed out, independent analysts that are not associated with this company at all have come out and said that they're looking at roughly around a 7% compound annual growth rate each year for the company. Now, the truth is, it doesn't matter what the company is, whether it's energy company, it's a retail, it's tech, every company has an associated risk involved with it. It's just the nature of the business. And UGI is no exception, just because of the energy industry or sector they're involved with. We see a lot of ups and downs through over the years. And so we have to do our due diligence and at least identify some of the main risks associated with a company or a stock like UGI. Now, I'm going to be very quick and run through some of these bullet points. I got this off of a site, Seeking Alpha, which has an extensive amount of research, a lot of analysts, a lot of independent opinions. So anytime you're looking at purchasing a stock, reach out to those guys. It's a lot of times it's completely free and they have some very, very valuable information. So without further ado, let's look at the risk associated with UGI. The first one is just the industry, the gas propane demand, other types of utilities. We see a shift up and down dependent on the climate or the economic success or failure. Right now we're seeing a huge demand for petroleum or energy supplies because of the issues in Europe with Ukraine and Russia. So this does affect stock prices to some regards. And then you have the industry disruption risk, political, regulatory risk. Right now, it depends on which administration you have. Sometimes particular administrations in the United States are more favorable for drilling and production of natural gas and oil, and some administrations are a little more restrictive. So that kind of has a encouraging effect or a positive effect or a negative effect on a particular energy company. And then also you have litigation, talent retention, supply chain disruptions, currency risk, commodity price risk, and then refinancing risk in a rising rate environment. And of course, if you apply these bullet points to UGI, it is no secret they've had some bad years. But when you look at the consistency of what they've done for the past 10 years from 1885, there's one thing is for sure, they've seen that nice consistent growth, which is one of the main reasons why I chose this stock to do a video on it and push it out to at least bring awareness to this particular company. Now, if you're an investor that likes having dividend stocks in your portfolio, do the channel a favor and hit that like button, help us out as well. That's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for stopping by and supporting the channel. Let me know in the comment section, what is your favorite dividend stock that you currently have in your portfolio? It's all about sharing the knowledge to everyone on YouTube that has a similar idea towards financial freedom and an investing future. We'll see you on the next one.